Now it's time for our Act Now sessions. I'd like to welcome two speakers with remarkable initiatives supporting inclusive health action. Please welcome first Rosalie Mann, founder and president No More Plastic, Rosalie, and Justine Okolodkoff, head of Advocacy, Règles, Élémentaires.
Oh, she's there.
Wonderful. Rosalie, thank you so much. I'm going to ask you to speak first, and if you'd like to come, would you like to come up and speak here?
Perfect.
Wonderful. If you come up first.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please join me in 1 minute of silence. During this single minute, every minute, an average of 1 million of plastic bottles were sold worldwide. 1 million bottles, which will become waste too quickly. 1 million bottles, which have generated microplastics since their production and still generating them. 1 million bottles, which will poison adults and children with microplastics. The plastic generates microparticles, nanoparticles throughout its lifestyle. This invisible pollution poisons us daily. When we wear clothing, underwear, of synthetic materials, for example, we experience this invisible plastic pollution with the pores of our skin, which absorb those microplastics or nanoplastics. You can better understand now why our objective in France, in Europe, or in other countries to reach 100% recycled plastic by 2040 it's heresy. This is detrimental to our health. This is a credit card. It's the equivalent of the 5 grams of microplastic that each of us ingests every week. Look at the person next to you and ask yourself, what impact can these 5 grams of microplastics per week have on her or his body? And what impact will this have on your own body, on your health? Plastic is killing us. Softly, slowly, certainly. How did we get there? We made 2 mistakes. First, we have become addicted to plastic. We produce more than 460 million tons of plastic per year, and we should exceed 600 million of tons in 2030. Our bulimia of plastic consumption is nothing other than a major public health issue. Second mistake. We thought that transforming plastic items into new ones could help reduce plastic pollution. Unfortunately, this logic doesn't work for plastic. Transforming plastic items into other plastic items will not reduce plastic pollution. It just puts the plastic pollution back into the circulation. Why? Because plastic, recycled or not, remains a toxic material from its creation, during its use, until its state of waste. Therefore, recycled plastic is just reposing us again and again at each cycle and recycle in a loop. The more we are exposed to plastic, the more the quantity of microplastic ingested by our body increases. We should not be surprised to see an increase in breast cancer, colon cancer, childhood cancer, and infertility appearance in the young population, or chronic disease, as Crohn's diseases or endometriosis. All these diseases have a direct link with our plastic bulimia. So, what do? It's time to rethink our use of plastic and drastically reduce plastic production and not just only plastic consumption. Today, we consume plastic because we have no choice. Do you know why? Because many products contain plastic without many of us knowing it, such as chewing gum, tea bags, creams, lipstick, etc., etc. And many products are only proposed wrapped in plastic. We must act now, concretely. First, we must stop believing that recycled plastic is a solution to reduce plastic pollution. It is not. It never was. Second, we must call for action from our governments. They must encourage all the industry to adopt alternative solutions to plastic to finally put an end to the hand-long rush of microplastic in the environment and in our bodies. Third, we must build an international treaty to regulate and reduce plastic production and set clear and bold objectives in the fight against plastic pollution. And finally, as consumers, we have a great power. Remember, with great power comes great responsibility. The packaging and the textile sector together represent more than half of the total plastic production per year. If we change our daily consumption in these two sectors, we have the power to influence more than 50% of the problem, packaging and textile. We, women, are on the front line. Women's body more easily absorb toxins from chemicals in plastic. We are therefore more impacted by the plastic pollution. This will be easy. Changing things for the better has never been easy. But if you dare act, the possible is already there. It's time to act to deplasticize our society. See you at work. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rosalie. And now, if we could hear from you, Justine. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Rosalie, for this really inspiring talk. Good afternoon, everybody. So my name is Justine Okolodkoff, and I'm part of the French NGO Règles, Élémentaires, which is the first French association that fights against period poverty and that promotes menstrual health. Today, I want to talk to you about periods, but also about numbers. So you may wonder what those periods and numbers have to do together. And I want to ask you the question back. I want to ask you, do you know how many menstrual cycles a woman will experience in a lifetime? Well, the answer is about 450. That's a lot. That's a lot of time in her life. Then my second question is, how much will it cost her? In France, it will cost her at least euros in her entire life. So this is to say that periods are expensive. And actually, this price affects women everywhere in the world. For example, it is estimated that every month worldwide, there are 500 million women suffering from period poverty. It means that they have to choose between buying sanitary pads and buying food every month. In France, this number is 2 million. With Règles, Élémentaires, we organize to distribute protection to them, but we also organize to educate on menstrual health, because it's important to have the products, but it's also important to understand how it impacts your life, your health, your conception. And we also do advocate for a better understanding of this and for more resources. So now I want to give you more numbers, right? So what I want to tell you is that this period poverty, it leads to 100,000 girls missing school every month in France. It also leads 1 in 3 women to have misworked at least once in their life. And the impact of that, well, it can be dropping out. It can be just stopping school or stopping work. But it can also be feeling miserable. It can also be feeling ashamed to talk about it because we don't have space to talk about it. It can also be feeling desperate, because when you know that for endometriosis, for example, you have to wait 7 years to get a diagnosis, well, you may feel desperate. So today I want you to think about that. I want you to think maybe if in your life you felt confident enough with your coworkers to talk about your periods. If you ever felt like on a period day you could wear a white pant without thinking about it. Well, for most people the answer is no. So today I want you to act. And how you can act, whatever your position is, whatever your age is, you can actually take action. So I will give you 2 possibilities. The first one is in your company. In your company, you can act by promoting a better menstrual culture. So with Règles Élémentaires, we organize training for companies to take into account periods and period poverty. But also, we try to create a more period-friendly environment at work. So you can be part of this. The second thing, so I started this presentation by telling you I'm going to talk about periods and numbers. Well, actually, about periods, we miss lots of numbers. Today, there is absolutely no harmonized data in Europe. With Règles Élémentaires, every year we conduct an opinion poll. It gives us some numbers, but it's not enough. We need more data. We need data in every country. We need to understand the global impact of period poverty and the lack of education about period. So if you want to support us in that as well, please come see us at the Discovery Hub later and let's talk about periods.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Rosalie, Justine, thank you so much for being with us here today. And as Justine said, if you want to talk to them more, they'll be in the Discovery space at the Health Hub just after 4:30. So please go and talk to Rosalie and to Justine. Thank you so much. Thank you.